I'm very humbled to be standing here tonight with speakers such as Rob Chapman and Bill Viss. Rob obviously being a board member of 7 or 8 massive organisations in South Australia, including the Adelaide Crows and Bank SA. So my little business with 25 staff feels a little bit small and insignificant compared to Bill Viss with VIP and his multi-billion-dollar empire. I'm not sure, but again, Bram, thank you very much for the opportunity tonight, and Jan, and to Dutch SA. I guess a little bit of background about me before I talk about how we've grown a business in a marketplace that everyone has said it's been really tough, just to give you a bit of a feel and a background of where I've come from. My father's Dutch, Willem Ouwens. He's been the Dutch consul in Adelaide for 30 or 40 years. He says. So my connection with the Netherlands community, I feel very connected to it. I lived in Holland for 2 years during my mid-20s. I'm 35 years of age now. I forgot to wear my orange tonight, but our in-house corporate colours are orange for Ouwens Casserly. So you Dutchies, us Dutchies, we all know that orange is the best colour in the world. So I remember at a young age my father pulling me out of bed to watch the European Cup soccer, and I was always up at 3 AM, 4 AM wearing my orange Guernsey and cheering on, was it Gullit and Van Nistelrooy and all the famous Dutch soccer players. So I'm very much connected to the Dutch community. I went into real estate when I was 27 years of age. I lived for 2 years in Amsterdam before that. I was really quite lost in what I wanted to do in a career, in life in general, before I found real estate. My father, again, mentioned him, he had the brave move of shipping me off to Amsterdam when I was floating along in life and I didn't really know what to do when I was 23, 24. And I remember the moment when he left me at Amsterdam airport, and it was one of those times where I'm sure father and son were sort of going, "Oh, I hope this both works out." So, fortunately, it did work out. I made it back to Adelaide alive, and I was fortunate enough to work for some big companies in Europe and backpack across 35 or 40 countries, some of which I can't even pronounce the name of them. And I really managed to find myself whilst I was away, met so many different people from so many different walks of life. And I think that really helps in real estate, to be able to get along with people from different cultures, backgrounds, ages. So that experience in Europe was really, really important for me in order to get into real estate. So I came back to Adelaide, didn't really know what to do, so I pulled the career section out of the paper and I flipped through and I saw an advertisement for real estate, and it said you could earn up to $100,000 a year. And I thought, well, I haven't earned that much in my last 4 years in my life, so that sounds pretty good. But then it said you might have to work 7 days a week, so I flipped over that and I got a job at the bottle shop instead. And I'll never forget that experience. I was working at a bottle shop, I won't name it, but the manager of the bottle shop and his leadership style left a lot to be desired. And I just thought, this is exactly how I don't want to lead. So I learned a lot from that particular gentleman on how I didn't want to lead my organisation. I actually undid my jumper and threw it to him and I said, you can stack the shelves yourself, because he was treating everyone so poorly. And then the next day I came back and read the same ad again in that weekend's newspaper, and I said, well, I've got to give this a go. I went to the information evening for a real estate company in Adelaide. I thought, I can do this, and I felt very connected to it. Family business is a little bit in property, the legal business that the Ouwens lawyers, and I thought, yeah, I'll give this a go. So that's how I fell into real estate. When I started on my first day, I just felt so connected to it, and in my first year I made it into the top 10 agents in Harcourts, which there was 270 agents at the time, and I sold about 40 properties in that year, and it was really enjoyable experience. So that's, I guess, the background of where I've come from. there's a couple of slides that I'd like to show to you tonight just to keep me on track, otherwise I'll keep telling stories and we won't get out of here. So this is more to keep me on track. I was in real estate for 5 years selling. I got to become the #1 agent in Harcourts, in the #1 office for Harcourts in Australia out of 400 offices. And my business partner Nathan Casserly, we met at that office as well, and he became the #2 agent, and we forged a good friendship and relationship. We got thinking about 2.5 years ago about whether there was a better way to do real estate, and we really did think that there was a better way, a more cohesive way as an office, a values-based proposition to the community. Real estate agents haven't really had the best reputation over the course of time. I think in many surveys there's real estate agents, car salesmen, solicitors. I'm going to use this opportunity to have a few little slight digs at my dad tonight, if that's all right, everyone. It's not often that I've got the floor with him in the room, so yeah, I have to keep myself on track because I have to keep thinking of these jokes. But look, I mean, we thought there's an opportunity in the marketplace for us to do something different and to get together a good group of people and create something special. So this is Mount Lofty. Nathan and I caught up for 12 months on Friday mornings and walked up to the peak of Mount Lofty. From 6 in the morning, took us an hour to get up. We would spend 20 minutes at the top and we'd look at Adelaide and we would say, all right, we can sell all of that. So there was a lot of real estate out there, and there's something about getting back to nature and breathing hard and just the ideas flow. And we then would catch up every second Friday and do it, and the odd Friday we'd sit in Alfonso's on Hutt Street and pen our plan. So we started to get a plan together to create our own environment, because we weren't really that pleased with the environment that we were working in. We didn't think that that was a value-based organisation, purely based around doing the right thing by our clients and buyers and sellers and everyone in the real estate space. So we really wanted to create something like that. In that course of time and the few years before, Nathan and I spent significant money flying around the planet to see the best real estate agents on this earth and see how they do what they do. So we thought, well, success leaves clues. There's no point in reinventing the wheel if the roadmap has already been drawn out. So we went about looking at the best real estate agents in the world and what they do. We're really fortunate in Australia because we've got some of the best real estate agents in the world. We really do. We went overseas. A lot of overseas speakers come to Australia and speak at the Australian Real Estate Conference. It's the #2 biggest attended real estate conference in the planet. So we've been to all of those, and we brought back every little thing that we thought we could put together to build this special business.